I'm taking a Ferry A Rocher break. I can eat 3 of those Ferry A Rochers like it's nothing within seconds. They are so good. Wow. I have no words for this. I have no flippity words for this. I have no words for that. I was at the Circle K at Sierra del Sol and Ramon over here in the corner at Thousand Palms, I think. I was at this Circle K, Sierra del Sol and Ramon, and I wanted some chocolate and soda. So I wanted some chocolate and I wanted some soda. And some ice too. So I went and got some soda. I picked out those Ferry Rocher things. They're so good. And a police officer followed me in. And I stared at him for a while. But they walked behind the building. And somebody put into my brain that they're going behind the building to check on a homeless person. I thought, well, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know any which way anyway. But it was creepy. Somebody was putting something in my brain. I'm God. I talk in brains, not any other way. And I could tell it wasn't a God telling me it was a homeless person in my brain. So that was creepy, but I thought, well, I don't know, whatever. So I got out of the car and I went to go get my soda and my chocolate. And I was in line. I was in line, and so then it was my turn to pay for my stuff. So I paid for my stuff. And boy, an ambulance showed up, a fire truck. I was like, boy, acts of God or a bitch, huh? Or something like that. Some guy that worked inside the store was getting into all these things driving in. And I was like, actually got her a bit. And so I don't think nothing of it. It's like, whatever. So I come back to the car. Then there's 2 police cars behind me. And some God possesses me. And the God possessing me said, I'm a God. I'm possessing Bonnie. They're making her believe that they're looking for a homeless person, but they're out to put her behind bars because they can't rape and murder and drug and poison and control her technology and steal her money and do every criminal thing they want against her freely and completely and for fun anymore. So they want her fuck you behind bars. And this is the point where she has to prove that she's God again and kill them all in their soul so badly that their human bodies cannot function or survive enough. Or she's not God and they're going to get away with putting her behind bars when the only guilt is theirs. And I was sitting there going, really? Really? And then all of a sudden, the cop cars drove away. And I had noticed that the ambulance and the fire truck had driven away. So everybody had driven away. And I thought, well, is this real or what's going on, man? Everything's so weird lately. Like, life's not weird enough when things don't add up and stuff. So, I thought, well, when I saw the police officer and how he followed me, I was already knowing I will kill all of humanity to be free finally, or they will always fucking goddamn do this to me. Because they're fueled by the United States that murdered me over and over for 50 plus years for a living. They don't give a shit. So they will sit and ride my fuck you death forever, or I will kill all of them forever. And I know that. That's just God against man. After man knows they can do anything against God. So I had reminded myself like a zombie as they were following me. It's me or them, it's me or them, it's me or them. Because I knew that whatever they were in the car about was not passive. With that one police officer that pulled me over for just driving slow, I knew that his brain had no intention of harm, mistreatment, harassment, putting me behind bars when I'm a god and they have no legal right to even go near me. That passive cop had no desire to take me down or anything against me. And I didn't know why he was pulling me over, but then I realized it was because I was driving too slow and he had an excuse to just pull me over. Which is a threat against a God, which is why I had a monster that works in hell be very obvious to everyone that if they're going to join with the murdering United States, they're going to pay the price like the murdering United States. And that way they would understand those things, because next time I will have to kill them so badly in their soul their human body will not exist. It's just part of I am God and they are not. I understand that they murdered me for a living and think I'm nothing. And now I have to murder them in their soul to prove that only God can murder a soul. The proper punishment for the murder of God is far, far beyond every murder overloaded thing I can do to a soul. And I have to prove that they are nothing. They murdered me and now they have to pay an ultimate price and be taught that they are nothing. And humans are nothing. Don't ever become God's enemy, because God has to teach you such degraded, horrifying, you are such a piece of nothing kind of stuff. And it's horrifying. But it doesn't matter, I have to, or they'll never stop murdering me. They will never get off of my goddamn body parts or my brain or whatever they're abusing, raping, harassing, mistreating. They're sick in the head. They will use technology to make my brain feel raped or make my brain inflate my butthole to get their gross selves off from far away. That's the United States to buying countries. And they're doing it in mass quantity. Sitting around enjoying the grossest things you can do to God you've murdered and raped and death and more. So I knew I have to kill until they just don't exist, or this will happen forever. And I did that like a robot to be prepared, because they were preparing to take down wherever they were headed. Then the second law enforcement person was behind me. I did it again. I must kill all of the world to be God, or they will always think they're God and do this to me. And there is nothing else. Then all of a sudden they left. And I thought, But some God just said they were there to take me down. And if some God said they were here to take me down, why would they ever stop? They think they're God. They're fueled by murder-happy countries. So, I checked the cars. I checked their brains. a cop went behind their Circle K. And somebody put in my brain that they were looking for a homeless person. So I checked all their brains to see what was really going on. Because I was surrounded in law enforcement at a park, and it had nothing to do with me. It was about an event with a bunch of kids. So maybe I just don't understand, but why would a God say all that? So, I check their brains, check their brains, check their brains. And it turns out they were here to get me. There was 2 cop cars behind me to take me down because they can't murder and rape me and make me shut up about it forever now anymore. So they were going to make me disappear. To hopefully murder and rape me in secret forever, or whatever they can get away with forever, but at least put me behind bars so nobody listens to this I am God shit and knows what they've done as a country. So those 2 cars behind me were to take me down. And they made the excuse. That there's going to be an ambulance because she's always very bleeding and dying and sick. They didn't admit they murder me until I'm always bleeding, dying, and sick. No. They just were going to have an ambulance because they're so concerned about that aspect while I'm taken down for such horrible things that I am. Guess what happened? Why'd they leave? The country's sick in the head. So why'd they leave? The country is sick in the head. Why'd they stop? The country's sick in the head. Why does anything matter? Why do they run? And by the way, I've never had medical issues. It's always been what the United States, Dubai, the family chosen by the devil and more have done to me. Or just blatantly what the devil, demon, and evil God enemies have done to me. I've never had a real medical issue since I've been here. Why'd they leave? They've murdered me over and over and over for years. Why'd they run? Well, it turns out It turns out that when they could not murder me happily and freely as countries, they developed this whole thing where they invited the whole world to watch me and do everything against me to take me down. And then just never admit to the murdering me all the time for a living thing. Well, seems like a fail-proof thing. So why did they leave? I think psychics. I've had enough time to guess. They made everybody leave because I wouldn't stop rupturing and rupturing and rupturing their soul and proving that they'll be dead before they get to me. In front of everyone, I will be a known god. That's going to ruin their sicko pretendship. Well, since I was rupturing their soul, and it's scary as fuck, and promising I was going to do the same exact thing to those cops, no matter what. And they were never going to get to me. And then the whole world would know how much I'm God. They decided to tell them to just leave so they could lie and pretend they didn't murder me for a living, and they didn't do it. It's up to you, buddies. This fight's been on for a while, and I'm barely getting all my fire and all my power and all my magnitudes going. It's always up to you. Next move, sicko fucks.